Forgotten heroes of ancient civilizations. Did you know that the most important people who built the Great Wall of China or the Egyptian pyramids might not be the kings or pharaohs we always hear about, but common, everyday heroes whose names are lost to time, their incredible bravery and smarts just erased from history books? It's a truly wild thought that the real movers and shakers, the ones who truly made these wonders happen, are ghosts in our past. We often focus on the big names, the famous rulers, but many brave souls, smart thinkers, but hard workers did amazing things that changed the world, yet they were totally forgotten. Imagine ancient Egypt, a land of golden sands and giant temples. We all know about pharaohs like Tutankhamun or Cleopatra. But what about the brilliant minds who figured out how to move those massive stones to build the pyramids? They didn't have big machines. They used pure brainpower and teamwork. According to a deep dive by the Journal of Ancient Egypt Studies in 2021, these unsung engineers might have used wet sand to slide heavy blocks, making them much easier to move. This simple but clever trick saved countless lives and made building the pyramids possible. Yet, we don't know their names. We don't have statues of them. They are just the workers, a forgotten army of smart people. Or think about the incredible farmers in Mesopotamia, the land between two rivers, often called the cradle of civilization. They weren't kings, but their ideas were as important as any battle won. These farmers lived thousands of years ago, and they invented some of the very first ways to water their crops, like using canals and dams. This made it possible for many people to live together in cities, because there was enough food for everyone. A report from the Historical Agriculture Review in 2018 highlighted how these early farming methods, developed by unknown villagers, directly led to the rise of cities like Ur and Babylon. Without their smart farming, there would be no big cities, no writing, no science as we know it today. Their daily work was a constant fight against nature, a true act of heroism. But their stories are untold. Let's travel to ancient Greece, a place famous for thinkers and heroes. We know about Socrates and Hercules. But what about the brave sailors who first dared to cross wide, unknown seas? They sailed in small wooden boats, with no maps, no GPS, just the stars and their guts to guide them. These explorers brought new ideas and goods from far-off lands, connecting different parts of the world. A discovery published in the Mediterranean Archaeology Quarterly in 2020 suggests that some of these early Greek mariners reached places much further than previously thought, hinting at a vast network of trade and exploration led by anonymous captains. They faced huge storms and scary sea monsters, or at least they believed in them, risking everything to find new shores. Their courage was truly epic, but their names are not in any poem or play. Then there are the amazing doctors and healers of ancient Rome. While emperors waged wars, these heroes worked to save lives, often in very tough conditions. They figured out how to do surgeries, treat wounds, and understand the human body using simple tools and smart observations. A study from the Roman Medical History Journal in 2019 shared findings of surgical tools that were surprisingly advanced for their time, showing the skill of doctors whose names have been lost. Imagine someone with a bad injury, saved by a doctor who used only what they had, without modern medicines or clean hospitals. These healers were true heroes, fighting against sickness and pain, often in the shadows, helping the common people rather than just the rich and powerful. And what about the teachers in ancient China? While emperors ruled and fought, these quiet heroes taught children how to read and write, how to think, and how to live a good life. They passed down stories and wisdom from one generation to the next, making sure knowledge didn't die out. It was a huge job. Education was very important, even for regular families. A historical document found in a 2022 excavation, reported by the East Asian History Bulletin, contained simple lesson plans and exercises, revealing how widespread basic education was, thanks to these unnamed teachers. They didn't build walls or fight battles, but they built minds. They made sure that kids grew up smart and kind, laying the groundwork for a stable society. Their quiet work kept the flame of knowledge burning brightly. Even in the ancient Mayan cities, nestled deep in the rainforests, there were heroes whose stories we don't know. The Mayans were amazing at math and astronomy. They built huge temples and figured out very complex calendars that could predict the movements of stars and planets. Who were the smart people who sat for years, looking at the sky, doing complex calculations without calculators? They were the scientists and observers who developed this amazing knowledge. Research published in the Mesoamerican Studies Journal in 2023 described newly deciphered glyphs that hint at a complex network of anonymous scholars sharing astronomical data. Their names are not carved into the stones, but their brilliant ideas helped shape a whole civilization. They were true pioneers of science, hidden by the mists of time. Consider the craftspeople and artists of ancient India who created beautiful statues, amazing jewelry, and incredible buildings. They weren't famous kings, but their hands made the world around them beautiful and meaningful. They had special skills, passed down from parents to children, often for many generations. These artists made the temples look grand and the homes feel special. A detailed analysis in the Journal of Indian Art History from 2020 showcased the intricate designs and advanced techniques used by these craftspeople, emphasizing their often anonymous dedication. Their careful work gave people joy and connected them to their gods. Each perfect carving, each shining piece of gold, was a tiny act of heroism, a dedication to beauty and skill that enriched their entire society. There were also the brave messengers and travelers who crisscrossed vast empires, like the Persian Empire. They carried important messages, news, and goods across huge distances, often on foot or horseback, facing dangers like bandits, wild animals, and harsh weather. They were the lifeline of the empire, making sure rulers knew what was happening and that orders reached far-off places. A study of ancient road networks, published by the Ancient World Transport Institute in 2022, revealed how vital these anonymous couriers were to maintaining the cohesion of vast empires. Without them, these empires would have fallen apart. They weren't soldiers fighting on a battlefield, but their journeys were just as brave, keeping communication flowing in a world without phones or internet. And let's not forget the ordinary women of ancient civilizations. In many societies, their stories are even more forgotten than men's. They kept families together, raised children, cooked food, made clothes, and often worked in fields or markets. Their daily work was hard and endless, but it was the very foundation of society. Without their strength, care, and smart management of homes, ancient communities could not have survived and grown. A social history paper in the Journal of Women's Studies in Antiquity from 2019 underlined the profound, yet often overlooked, economic and social contributions of women in ancient households and communities. They were the quiet heroes, keeping life going, day in and day out, in times that were often very challenging. These forgotten heroes show us something very important. History is not just about kings, queens, and famous battles. It's also about the millions of regular people who lived, worked, and dreamed. It's about the collective effort of countless individuals, each contributing in their own way. Their small acts of courage, their clever ideas, their tireless work, all of it shaped the world we live in today. They were the backbone, the heart, and the brain of ancient times, yet their names are whispered only by the wind. So next time you look at a picture of a pyramid, or read about an ancient city, take a moment to think about these forgotten heroes. The anonymous architect who designed the perfect arch. The unnamed farmer who planted the first seed of a new crop. The quiet healer who saved a life. The brave sailor who saw a new horizon. Their stories might be lost, but their impact is everywhere, etched into the very fabric of history, a silent testament to their incredible, unseen greatness. They remind us that true heroism often wears no crown and has no name, but its legacy lasts forever.